Hello and welcome back to the garden. Unfortunately, all is not well in the garden. What you're looking at is Pseudopanax Ferox. It's a small tree from New Zealand. A lovely thing. Really strange, bizarre looking leaves. And a lovely tactile trunk. You can get your hand round. Fantastic bark. I moved it about a year ago. I had moved it a couple of times before in the previous garden, and it was smaller. If you look over there, that's Pseudopanax russifolius. You can see the stem on that is a lot smaller. That's probably the size I moved Ferox at last time I moved it, and it moved okay. When we moved house, I thought I'd bring it with me. It's a tree I'm fond of, or was fond of. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to admit defeat. I'll keep giving it the benefit of the doubt and convincing myself it's going to do something. A few leaves are hanging on up the top, if you can see them, but it's not flushed this year. Usually by now it's put out some new leaves. There's nothing. What's concerned me even more is if we look at the trunk down here, it's starting to split. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but where the bark is, splits are starting to open up. When I first moved, I put it in. I didn't stake it. I should have staked it with hindsight. I then staked it loosely to allow it some movement, because I was hoping that was going to help the roots to hold them still enough to establish while letting the top move. I then changed my mind and put an even bigger stake in down the bottom, which you can see here. Try and secure it with the winter winds, but I fear us gone. If we look closely, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, the trunk is split here, and also I notice it's opening up further up as well. I think that's one of the few failures of the move from my last garden, unfortunately. Pseudopanax russifolius has moved fine. Probably 8 foot of trunk now, and the weird thin juvenile style leaves on the top. Ferox, it branched at the top and had the adult leaves, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to see it. I'm going to leave it in for the rest of this year, give it a chance just in case I've misjudged the situation. But when I dug it up, it had a really tiny root. They don't have a big root system anyway, but for the size of this, there's a big solid root with hardly any feeder roots, so I fear us a goner. But fear not, because approximately 15, maybe 20 years ago, that one was possibly, well, it was smaller than this one, its replacement. I've planted this one next to it, Pseudopanax Ferox again. Look at these leaves, you just have to touch them. They're wonderful things. Designed like this to stop animals grazing them in the wild in New Zealand, where it hails from. Hence, when it gets taller, the adult foliage comes onto the plant because it's then high enough to keep out of the way of grazing animals. But these are wonderful, wonderful leaves. Fantastic small tree for a small garden. Never gets a wide spread on it or too high, so if you've got a little space, I highly recommend it. So although it looks like the big one has probably gone, things move on in the garden. This is a nice youngster to take over. Hopefully in another 15 years I'll be looking up at this one with the adult foliage. But for now, on that sad news, it's time to leave the garden. I'll see you next time when we're finding out what's going on Heathcroft garden. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, it helps the channel grow. See you next time.